morning, everybody. I'm here in Canfield, here at Town Hall, with our weekly update. A couple of things before I turn it over to Ms. Bedreau and to the school department. This week, we are accepting applications for a number of open boards and committees. You can go to the town website to see what's open. Applications are due on Friday, and we hope everyone will consider helping serve the town. One thing I want to point out is there are openings specifically for our new diversity and equity committee, which is brand new, and you can find a lot more information on the town website. So please consider joining us in all of these important town committees. Tomorrow night, the Board of Selectmen will be meeting at 6:30. The primary conversation will be about the recent study on the impacts of the wind turbine. It will be mostly that tomorrow night, and that is on Zoom. You can get the link on the town website. And finally, for me, today the Chamber of Commerce and Scituate Loves Local are hosting a forum for businesses to try to figure out how the town and the Chamber and Scituate Loves Local can work together to help all of our small businesses through the winter. So if you are a business owner or interested in this topic, 5 o'clock, you can find the links on the Facebook pages for both the Chamber and for Scituate Loves Local. And that's all I have, so I will turn it over to our town administrator, Jim Bedreau.
So good morning, Monday morning again. This is the second week in a row we've had 8 new cases in a week of positive tests of COVID here in Scituate. 2 cases are husband and wife, and 2 of the other cases are household contacts of one of our cases from last week. So that's to be expected. We also are assuming that most of the remaining are college students. We are seeing a big uptick. These are the highest numbers we've had in well over a month, but a lot of it is due to the testing of kids going back to college. But it is a reminder that COVID's still out there. People need to be aware, need to be vigilant. We will look to see if we get any uptick from Labor Day weekend the next couple of days. Those should start coming in if we have an issue. The positivity rate for the last 14 days in Scituate was 1.2%, so we still have a good positivity rate, but our numbers have gone up. So we ask people to continue being vigilant, continue washing your hands, and of course the masks right now, according to the CDC, are probably the best defense against the COVID, so people need to be wearing their masks. Keeping with the good news, the ban on outdoor watering is still in effect here in Scituate. We have now been classified as being in a severe drought by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. There is no rainfall in the forecast for this week. We need people to make a concerted effort to conserve water. I hear people talking about the supply of water. We have a water supply. This is not so much a water supply problem as a water demand problem. When we put the water ban on, we went down average daily usage by about 400,000 gallons a day. So in a 31-day month, that's almost 12 million gallons of drinking water that was going on people's lawns. It's not anymore. That's enough to fill over 600 average pools. So we need you to stop. There are people still watering their lawns. There's too many people still watering their lawns. The water department is out there aggressively looking for those people and finding those people. But we are in a severe drought, so we need you to make a concerted effort to save water. The reservoir's at 33.15% full. Rainfall for the past week, as recorded at the treatment plant, was 0. The average weekly water through the plant was down to 677 million gallons, 100,000 gallons a day. That's now from 683. We expect that to continue to drop. Normally, we would see a more severe drop after Labor Day, but people are still working from home. Kids are home half the day, so we need to do better. We need to get that down. The manganese levels are also down significantly now that we've added the treatment, but we will continue to work on that. Cedar Point construction project commenced on 9/8. This week is the start of the actual construction out there. We had our first road closure today, just a small one. The replacement of the gravity sewer will take, it's an 18-month project. We hope to have it wrapped up, though, by the spring. That is going to be dependent upon the winter weather. It is a major construction project. It will lead to traffic changes out at Cedar Point. So we will be putting up notices every Friday of the coming week's project, but people need to pay attention to the signs and pay attention to the traffic details. The Egypt Beach berm project is underway. As people can see out there, the stones are significantly smaller than what we used on Man Hill. We anticipate that this will be done by the end of the week. So far, they're doing a very good job, and it is exactly what we anticipated it would be. But we do have an engineer out there every day keeping an eye on it, and they hopefully, again, will wrap that up at the end of this week. An update on the Council on Aging project. We are currently on schedule. Siding, drywall, and the start of the brick system will begin this week. The brick system for the elevator at the gym is also commencing, and the elevator installation in the gym is scheduled for 10/5. We do have a tree right near the gym. If you look from Cudworth, it's on the left-hand side. It's been marked. An arborist looked at that tree and recommended that it be removed. It is outside the major work area, but according to the arborist, the tree is basically hollow on the inside and is a hazard and needs to come down. There's also a tree adjacent, right next to the new building, that will be trimmed at the same time because some of those limbs are impacting the new building, so we'll trim that back. So it's not a project tree removal, it's just as part of the project, we review the trees, and this tree has to come down. It is a hazard. So that'll probably take place, if not the end of this week, the beginning of next week. One thing on the field project, volunteers began painting the interior of the dugouts on Labor Day weekend. It was a little bit bigger job than they thought, and they were unable to finish. Mark Falvey of M.A. Falvey Painting and Company has offered to donate and complete the remainder of the project for us. So we will have those professionally finished by his painting company. So I just want to take a second to thank Mark and his company for their generous donation of the time, materials, and labor to get that done. Tropical Storm Teddy is scheduled to be off the coast of Massachusetts tonight and tomorrow. We don't expect direct impacts from Teddy in terms of wind and water, but we will see tidal and wave impacts. There is a high surf advisory in place until 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Waves of 8 to 22 feet in the surf zone are possible, with the worst conditions tomorrow afternoon. There is also a coastal flood advisory in effect from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow night. We expect minor flooding and minor splash over in those areas where we have those on a regular basis. But people need to be aware and keep an eye out, especially tomorrow afternoon for that. And finally, I've been asked by a couple of emailers to remind people, not to take anything away from Superintendent Burkhead, that school is back in session. Children are walking to school, they're biking to school, they're at the bus stop. So we're asking motorists to please be aware that the kids are back on the street, they're out there. Slow down, be cognizant of what's going on, and also to ask the pedestrians and the bikers, not just the children. If you don't have a sidewalk, you walk against the traffic. If you're on a bike, you ride with the traffic. I was driving down Oceanside today, and there were two women walking with the traffic, side by side, taking up the entire lane. No idea that I was even behind them in my car. So please be cognizant of the pedestrians out there, especially the kids going back to school. And pedestrians, make sure you do what you're supposed to do, obey the rules of the law, and pay attention. If everybody does their jobs, we'll be okay. But just, it's been since March that the kids have been back in school, so I don't think people are used to looking for them. So just a reminder that they're out there, and be careful when you're out driving. So that's all I have for today.
Great, thanks, Jim. I'll turn it right over to the superintendent. To Mr. Gates, chairman of the.
I won't take up too much time. I know Superintendent Burkett has all the good stuff, but I just wanted to quickly, a couple takeaways. Obviously, as Jim said, school is back in session. I can say firsthand that my family and my daughter specifically is very excited to be back in school. I think all these kids need to be back. So I thank everyone in the town, the district, for their efforts to make that happen. Also, a couple of things. The school committee had been over the summer meeting weekly. We're scaling that back to our twice a month meetings. There's no meeting tonight. We will have a meeting next Monday to continue to provide updates. One takeaway from our last meeting last Monday, the town and the district have worked tremendously together. Obviously, in the midst of a pandemic, we need all hands on deck. Personally, the director from the Board of Health, Drew Shealy, who I didn't even know that position existed in the district or in the town. I've never had the reason to interact with them, so I appreciate the support from the town, as well as from Drew himself, to head up our medical advisory team with our district, and has really provided a tremendous amount of value to us so that our kids and staff can safely return back to school. So with that, I'll hand it over to Superintendent Burkhead.
Thank you, Chairman Gates, and good morning, everyone. It is an exciting time. School started last week, and in my 25-plus year career as an educator, it was probably one of my best opening days, just because we haven't seen students and staff together in 6 whole months. There was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of joy from both the parents, students, and staff. So welcome back, everybody. Our early childhood center students start their first day today, so it'll be another exciting day and firsts for a lot of those families, so we're welcoming them back. As Chairman Gates spoke of, we have a medical advisory committee that is made up of medical professionals, the Board of Health, and school officials that meets weekly to discuss our metric and discusses the options of keeping our schools open, potential closing, transitioning from the phrases of the hybrid model, the in-person model, or fully remote. And what we started last week is a weekly communication to our community that goes out in our Thursday Thoughts and is posted on our website, scituate.k12.ma.us. And so that'll be there weekly. The data indicated for this week were all good, with low case numbers, low percent positivity, and a low geographical rate. So things were looking good this week. We did, following that report that evening, receive information that was a positive case in our district. And I want to thank Drew Shealy again, the Board of Health. We were immediately in contact. It was a staff member in our district. We were immediately in contact with the Board of Health, our school nurse leader, Kelly Roach, our principal, central office. Thorough investigation was done. Close contact tracing was also done in a very expedient manner. We were able to get communication out, identify close contacts, get communication out to the staff, to the families, to get cleaning done. I'm happy to report that all close contacts, who were all adults, have since tested negative. So we'll continue, just one more example of, even though the Medical Advisory Committee meets weekly, that we will be able to meet as needed should cases arise and get communication out as soon as possible. So I think that was a good example there. Athletics is, talked about the fields, Mr. Boudreau. They are absolutely beautiful, and they're even more beautiful with the kids out there and the coaches out there playing and participating. So they started on September 18th, so that's a really good sight for us to see. More good news from the in our food service department. The USDA extended a waiver that allows schools to serve free breakfast and lunch to all students. So this is our entire school district. Everyone's. This is available to everybody through December 31st. And if you have any questions on this, we would like people to take advantage of this. Even though we are working through a hybrid model and some students and families are remote, we still are providing that food, and there's a lot of different opportunities to do that. If you have any questions, you can contact our food service director, Mr. David Stevens, at dstevens, STEVENS, at scit.org. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge our families celebrating Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, this past Friday evening through last night, leading up to Yom Kippur, which is celebrated next Sunday evening through next Monday evening. Wishing them all the best. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everybody. If that's all the news for today, we will see you all next Monday at 9:30. Thanks for tuning in.